Hey everyone, Andrew back again and welcome to another video, and it's Saturday, so I'm back with another slasher review. It's part of the TheHORRORmans Slashback Slasher Challenge series, and this week's theme is religious slashers, so I'm going to be reviewing The Orphan Killer. Now, The Orphan Killer centres around two characters, Marcus, who is the killer within this movie, and his sister Audrey. Now, they both grew up in an orphanage after something bad happened to their parents. Audrey got adopted pretty quickly and kind of left Marcus behind to suffer from the nuns. So several years pass and Marcus basically comes back to track Audrey down and pretty much seek revenge on her for leaving him behind, essentially. So that is pretty much the storyline to this one. Now we'll move on to my thoughts on The Orphan Killer. Now, this was a rewatch for me, and it had been many years since I'd seen it. And I've always liked this movie quite a lot, but rewatching it, I think I like it even more. This movie is amazing in my opinion, especially in terms of two key elements, and that is the production values and the special effects, which I will get to throughout this review. So first and foremost, we'll talk a little bit about the location, and that is kind of where the religion theme kicks into gear. So for the most part, this is set within a Catholic school, which is where Audrey works, and they also grew up in a Catholic orphanage as well, with nuns and priests and stuff like that. So yeah, that is where the religious theme kicks in. It doesn't have an overly heavy religious storyline, but obviously the setting and the characters of the priest and the nuns definitely fit into this theme for sure. So I really like the location within this one. It's predominantly set within the school, which I really like. It's a great location for this type of movie, I reckon. But you also get a grander sense of the overall city as well, because there's a lot of really kind of epic and wide-angle shots of the overall city throughout the film, and I really like that aspect too. You kind of get the sense that it is taking place within a wider, larger community, but then the main focus obviously is the location of the school. So I really liked that aspect to the film and the location. The characters I thought were absolutely phenomenal, especially Audrey's character. For an independent slasher, the characters were extremely well acted, especially Audrey's character. She essentially is the main character within this movie, apart from Marcus, of course. And some of the scenes with her, especially towards the end of the movie, were extremely demanding, and I thought she nailed them absolutely perfectly. The acting was never over the top, it never really got silly. Pretty realistic for the situations, honestly. So yeah, I thought the characters and the performance, especially with Audrey, was absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of other characters within this movie. You have a priest, some nuns, and some other characters as well. Audrey's boyfriend, some police officers. They were all really good, especially for an independent slasher, so I didn't have any issues whatsoever with any of the acting or the characters. I really liked Marcus as a killer. He was very human-like, which I really liked. It kind of almost gave a more realistic and relatable kind of aspect to his character. So his outfit was pretty simple. He just wore normal clothing, but I really liked his mask. The mask that you can see there on the cover, pretty simplistic, but it works really well. And the other cool thing is he had the mask since he was a young child, so there are glimpses and flashbacks of Marcus and Audrey as children, which I really liked. It definitely helps the storyline, and you discover the relationship between the brother and the sister and why Marcus is the way that he is. So yeah, the Flashbacks to their childhood were never overdone. They were scattered throughout the film and really, really well implemented, I thought, and definitely gave enough of a glimpse to know what was going on. So I really, really like that aspect of the movie as well. But yeah, Marcus I thought was a great killer. As I said, very, very human-like, but extremely brutal. And in all honesty, I actually forgot how brutal and nasty the slasher movie is. It doesn't have an overly high body count, but the special effects, the gore effects, the blood effects more than make up for it. All practical, and they all look fucking amazing. Probably some of the best, if not the best, effects that I've ever seen when it comes to a more low budget and independent slasher, for sure. I was just absolutely blown away. There's some good variety with the kills. They're all on screen and they are extremely, extremely brutal. This is definitely a more brutal slasher for sure in terms of the kills. It does have some torture elements, especially towards the end of the film, and I was definitely squirming. I'm not going to lie. There's some pretty uncomfortable scenes and moments throughout this film in terms of the torture and the kills. So yeah, the blood effects, very, very bloody movie, and as I said, all practical effects, and the kills just look absolutely amazing. So from a production standpoint, the cinematography was absolutely amazing. Like I mentioned at the beginning of my review, while most of the movie took place within the school, there were a lot of really, really kind of epic wide-angle shots of the overall city, and so well shot. There was some really, really good use of lighting effects throughout the movie as well. So yeah, cinematography-wise and production-wise, this movie was incredible. Probably the best that I've seen in terms of production values for a more low-budget independent slasher, easily. So the other thing that I will quickly mention before I wrap up this review is definitely the soundtrack. It's more of a heavy metal soundtrack, and obviously I'm a big fan of that genre, so I really, really liked the soundtrack within this film. It probably wouldn't be for everyone, but I definitely like it. So yeah, that is pretty much my review for The Orphan Killer. I love this movie. I definitely love it even more upon rewatch. I have always enjoyed this one, but in all honesty, I forgot how truly amazing this slasher is. So obviously from this review, I definitely highly recommend this one if you haven't seen it, and quite likely quite a few of you haven't. I don't know how readily and easily available this movie is to get nowadays, but if you can track down a copy, if you've never seen it before, I definitely highly, highly recommend it. Absolutely amazing slasher film for sure. And if you have seen this one, please let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Anyway guys, that is it for this week's review. I just want to say I hope everyone is staying well and safe out there. I also hope everyone is having a great Easter weekend. And until next Saturday when I'll be back with another review, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and thank you for watching.